Crypto Kids, I've got some bad Bitcoin news for you. Take a look at how closely the BTC price action in 2026, which is represented by this red line, is following the BTC price action in 2020 that is represented by the blue line. In accordance to this logic of the Bitcoin QT ending bear markets, we should theoretically see a big drop on Bitcoin very soon. Or should we? Or do we follow the midterm price action and yes, go lower, but just gradually into Q4? Or do we scrap all of that and restart our bull market? This is what I want to talk to you in today's video. We'll go through the hantavirus, the aliens, the Clarity Act, geopolitics, traditional finance, Michael Saylor, potatoes, and bananas in this video. If you do find this video informative and entertaining, do me a favor and destroy the like button. If we can reach to 400 likes this video, it would make my absolute day. And secondly, I highly recommend you to subscribe to the Crypto Kid channel. I will be posting so many interviews that I had the opportunity of conducting with industry greats like Charles Hoskinson, Joseph Lubin, the co-founder of Ethereum, Ran Neuner, so many people, Michael Turpin. They will all be uploaded on this channel next week. So if you want to see them and watch my latest interview with CZ, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. With that said, let's begin with what is really so concerning to me. QT ending bear markets was a point of analysis that was introduced by Benjamin Cowen, who actually had his 5th baby. Congrats to Ben. I can't believe it. He's an incredible person, incredible father. Huge congrats for the new baby Ben. If you're watching, do give him a shout out in the comment section too. In 2019, you saw soft QE be introduced. And alongside the introduction of soft quantitative easing and the end of a massive restrictive monetary policy campaign, the price of Bitcoin experienced a mid-cycle top, which then resulted in a consolidation, a flash crash from the pandemic, a recovery with significant money printing that the government conducted so that we don't enter in 1929 like Great Depression, and boom, risk-on assets went through the roof. Institutions were borrowing at 0% almost interest rates. People were borrowing at 0% interest rates. Everybody got access to a bunch of cash and they invested, causing everything to go up and up and up. You see, in 2026, Bitcoin had its traditional, not mid-cycle top, but normal cycle top in accordance with the 4-year halving cycles. But coincidentally, this was also when the government decided to begin soft quantitative easing. So that's why you can put these two prices onto each other from June 2019 and October 2025 to now. You can do a correlation. And once you do that correlation, it's almost the exact same. And when 2020, before we went bananas with money printing, and the result, and the reason why we had money printing was the COVID-19 pandemic. The labor market saw huge amounts of stress, people getting unemployed, people not having work, the anxiety, the uncertainty. They had to print money, create economic stimuli, so we avoided something which would have been an even bigger catastrophe than what it was. I don't know if you've been following the news lately, but a new strain of the hantavirus that has existed for many years has occurred in an outbreak within a cruise ship. This strain is, based off of my research, more transmissible, human to human, and also potentially more dangerous. Now, I'm not claiming in any way, shape, or form that it's going to result to a flash crash like what happened in 2020 and that we will face tough times again. This is not what I'm saying at all. It's just something that gives me a little bit of concern. I know that the World Health Organization stated that there shouldn't be any concern at the moment, but I have PTSD and so do all of us. So just with its relevance to Bitcoin, because we're a Bitcoin analysis channel, if Bitcoin was to see a flash crash, which I still see as an unlikely event, by the way, I'm a much bigger believer in the 4-year cycles and that we eventually go lower towards Q4, find our low there, and then start going back towards the upside. Technically, if Bitcoin was to even drop all the way down to, let's say, $38,000, it would actually still be bullish, because that would be a 69% correction from the all-time high in October. And we know that in prior cycles, Bitcoin has done 77% corrections. Bitcoin has done 84% corrections. So relatively speaking, it would still be bullish because you're still doing what you do in the 4-year cycles, and you would end up reversing back towards the upside. I just want that to be clear. If you're a Bitcoin investor like I am, I'm not concerned. Like, I think that Bitcoin at 80K is super cheap, so I'm buying it now, and I will continue to buy if we drop. But as a leverage trader, which is something that I also am, I'm still cautious, and I'm not going to pivot into extremely speculative, high leverage long positions until I see two things take place. The first thing to happen, which would be great, was if Bitcoin broke above the volume-based bearish trends that you can identify with the blue line of the VWAP. That line sits at $83,000 to $84,000. That line is exactly the bear market's bear flag resistance that Bitcoin is still getting rejected off from, which you can see on the daily time frame. So if the VWAP volume-based trend flips bullish, you would also break above the bear flag that Bitcoin, like it or not, is still in, and that will give me some optimism. But the maximum amount of bullishness that I will flip to in my trading, derivatives trading, will occur once Bitcoin establishes a higher high and breaks out from the bearish trends that we've been in by creating a new high. And that would happen if we broke above 97.7. So until then, yes, I have my 2x leverage longs. Yes, I'm buying Bitcoin spot, but that's all that I'm doing. I'm not being crazy and going, massive long, which is okay to do so in my opinion, right? I do it in the bull market because the chances of Bitcoin going up are always higher in the bull market compared to in the bear market. It's the inverse in the bear market. And I'm buying things like Ethereum, which is lagging behind Bitcoin, by the way. Ethereum is doing worse than Bitcoin is. I think Ethereum is going to do so well. Like, people are oblivious to the updates we're seeing. JP Morgan, all of the big institutions, banks, they're introducing funds, they're introducing tokenized assets on Ethereum. Yes, they will have their own private blockchains and it will be launched very soon. However, they will also use public blockchains, and the biggest market share of tokenization activity is occurring on Ethereum. And people just don't know it. The retail, the average Joe just doesn't know it. So I see so much potential with Ethereum, and I think buying when it's low makes more sense than buying when it's high. So I'm buying Ethereum and a few other layer ones, but that's about it. So that's my personal speculation when it comes to Bitcoin. Will we see dramatic amounts of money printing like what happened in 2020? I know they're itching for a reason to print a bunch of money, but based off of how things are, I don't think they're going to do that. According to the Fed dot plot, they won't do it until 2029. If this virus turns out to be of anything with high severity, then yes, they could potentially do it, but that's still very much ambiguous. Guys and girls, we have a brand new trading competition, this time with BTCC. I'm going to get them to reset the time period so that you guys have even more time to participate. If you use the first link in the description down below to BTCC, you can be a part of the trading competition. And for new users, by just signing up, you'll get a 2 USDT 100x position airdrop, a 10% deposit bonus, and another additional 20 USDT bonus. And there are also general rewards based off of your ranking in the leaderboard. We just launched it. I'm going to get them to reset it. So make sure you join and you can track yourself on the leaderboard in the first link in the description down below. You can click it, you can sign up with the link and be a part of the competition. Wishing you guys the best of luck. Another crazy thing that took place last week was the UFOs being unveiled to the public, and the fact that they are real, and the fact that they're not a conspiracy theory. This object, which happens to just zoom away in speeds that are inconceivable for human technology, was doxed by the White House alongside many other things. I mean, they didn't say that aliens exist and there's no proof of aliens, but UFOs most definitely, like we all knew, yes, exists. I think it's just a form of distraction. The war in the Middle East is still, or the geopolitical conflict is still ongoing, and I think it's getting sadly much worse. We can, if you look at the geopolitics, conflict in the Strait of Hormuz has reactivated. You're seeing that, this is good. Iranian state media has submitted to Pakistani mediators its response to the proposed US deal. Let's see if it was anything positive. But if you look at the current ongoing developments in the Middle East, it's not good. Crude oil prices remain at almost $100 per barrel. As long as it is at $100 per barrel, inflation will continue to rise, And with the labor market, on paper, it seems like it's doing well because we had the biggest 2-month job growth in 2 years. But no, it's all part-time jobs. Full-time jobs, you're losing full-time jobs. So with the labor market under stress now with the recent job report data, inflation, which will continue to go up according to Fed Chair Powell, I think we could enter a stagflation. And I think it's completely unsustainable for the S&P to go up in these current environments. So I see a drop in the S&P, which won't have the best of results for, of course, Bitcoin either. And I think that this whole alien thing is just distracting us from the reality of things like the mortgage rates being at 7%, highest since 2008 financial crisis. Appliance demand being the lowest since the great financial crisis. Like, these are all bad things. Of course, President Trump's 10% global tariff also got banned by by trade courts. His IEPA tariffs, i.e. the Powers Act tariffs that he was invoking based off of national security concerns last year, which reached up to 120% when it came to China, like, all of those tariffs got ruled out to be illegal. And then as soon as they were gone, President Trump did a 10% global tariff, which he can do as president for 2-3 months. But anything beyond that, he needs congressional approval. So that expired too. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about the Doge not existing anymore. Nobody's talking about inflation soaring. Like, it's all distractions. And aliens are the best form of distraction in the public. Notice how they didn't release, Marco Rubio, that's so funny. They didn't release like any aliens, like actual alien news. It's all just UFOs. Like, it's all things to distract you. So please don't get distracted. Don't lose the main focus. The main focus is inflation is real. It's going to get worse, and Bitcoin is our way out. Before we end off, penultimately, Michael Saylor says back to work, meaning he probably bought some Bitcoin today. It's good that he did, because he needs to shave off some of that bearishness that was linked to him, which was subject to flipping 180 degrees from never selling Bitcoin to selling Bitcoin, potentially. I think it's smart for them to do so. It's just that it hurts his reputation, and we did a deep dive into it a few days back, so I won't talk so much about Saylor. But yeah, it's good that he's buying. Finally, guys, if we all became farmers, literally, instead of doing crypto over the past 4 years, we would have actually made generational wealth, because potatoes are up 704% in the past 30 days, and even bananas have outperformed Ethereum. So it's so sad, but it's the reality, and it is what it is. Fed Chair Powell's final week as Fed Chair will begin tomorrow. It's going to be so sad to see him go. But apart from that, that is a conclusion on today's updates. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for our interviews, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care, as always. Bye-bye.